This story depicts a world where humans and monsters like vampires, werewolves, witches, and other such creatures coexist. Although they live together, most humans prefer to stay away from these monsters, which is why they are referred to as outcasts. The story begins in a school where the protagonist, Wednesday, is navigating her way through an education system that she finds frustrating. Wednesday is an exceptionally intelligent but cold-hearted and emotionless girl. Due to her peculiar behavior and eccentric personality, people often consider her a freak. One day, Wednesday hears her younger brother's voice coming from a locker. Some bullies had locked him inside. As she goes to rescue him, she suddenly experiences a vision. In this vision, she sees the same boys forcing her brother into the locker. Recently, Wednesday has started experiencing strange visions where she can see the past, present, or future of certain events. However, she hasn't shared this ability with anyone yet. Furious, she decides to confront the boys and heads to the swimming pool, where they are having fun. The boys mock her upon seeing her. Unaware that Wednesday is about to play a painful prank on them, she releases bloodthirsty piranhas into the pool. The piranhas attack the boys, leaving them severely injured. Watching this horrifying scene, a sinister smile appears on Wednesday's face. However, her actions lead to her expulsion from school. Following this, her parents enroll her in Nevermore Academy, a school that is quite different from others, as it is exclusively for outcast children. Wednesday's parents also attended this school during their youth. However, Wednesday is unhappy with their decision. She believes that this school will be just as dull as the others. Meanwhile, a man steps out of a taxi near Nevermore Academy. The taxi driver tries to warn him about the outcasts, but the man tells the driver that he has previously lived with an outcast, so he is not afraid of outcasts. Saying this, he sets off toward his destination. The path passes through the forest near Nevermore Academy. After traveling some distance, he stops at a place to rest, but suddenly, an unknown creature attacks him and kills him. On the other hand, Wednesday is sitting with her family in the principal's cabin at Nevermore School. The principal tells Wednesday that during their school days, she and Wednesday's mom were roommates. To this, Wednesday sarcastically says, "Even after living with my mom, how are you still mentally balanced and completely fine?" Fortunately, the principal ignores her sarcasm. After the piranha incident, the court ordered Wednesday to undergo treatment with a psychiatrist to improve her mental health. The principal informs her that there is a psychiatrist named Dr. Valerie in the town near Nevermore Academy. Wednesday will be taken there twice a week for therapy sessions. After this, the principal takes Wednesday to show her room. There, the principal introduces Wednesday to her roommate, Enid. Enid's nature is completely opposite to Wednesday's. She's a cheerful and sweet girl. She has decorated her room with vibrant colors, but Wednesday dislikes colors. When she sees the colorful room, her mood turns sour. The school, keeping Wednesday's preferences in mind, has prepared a black and white uniform for her. After this, Enid takes her on a tour of the school. Enid tells Wednesday about the outcast students studying at the school. She explains that most of the students are divided into 4 groups. First are the vampires. Second are the werewolves. Enid mentions that she herself is a werewolf. Next are the sirens, who have the power to control others with their voice. Lastly, there are those who have the power to turn anyone into stone. There are also other outcast students in the school. Most of the students come from these 4 outcasts. After a while, Wednesday's parents bid her farewell. Before leaving, Wednesday's mom tells her not to even think about trying to escape from here. To this, Wednesday rudely says that she will definitely escape, and perhaps this might be their last meeting. Before leaving, Wednesday's parents leave behind a hand named Thing to keep an eye on her. Thing is like a member of Wednesday's family. On the other hand, in the forest, the police find the corpse of a man who had gotten out of a taxi some time ago. His body parts are scattered around, with some parts missing. 2 similar murders had already taken place in the town before this. A police officer named Sheriff strongly believed that the outcasts were behind these murders, but due to a lack of evidence, he remained silent. Elsewhere, the unity groups were fighting among themselves due to their opposite natures. At that moment, the botany teacher, who teaches about plants and flowers, comes to meet Wednesday. Her name is Ms. Thornhill. She resolves their dispute and welcomes Wednesday by giving her a flower before leaving. The next day, Wednesday goes to practice fencing. There, a girl named Bianca is already practicing. Bianca is a siren. Sirens are outcasts who can control others with their voice. Bianca is the most popular figure in school. She is intelligent in academics and excels in other activities as well. Bianca defeats a boy named Rowan in fencing and arrogantly asks the teacher if there is any fencer here who can beat her. Hearing this, Wednesday challenges her. After that, a fencing duel begins between them. Wednesday swiftly scores the first point, while Bianca scores the second point. To provoke Wednesday, Bianca says that the point she earned seems like beginner's luck. Hearing this, Wednesday becomes furious and challenges Bianca to fight the final round without helmets. In this round, whoever draws blood from their opponent first will be declared the winner. A fierce fight ensues between them, but in the end, Bianca wounds Wednesday on her forehead and wins. Enraged by this loss, Wednesday storms off after dressing her wound. As she is walking away, a stone gargoyle from the roof suddenly falls toward her. At the last moment, a boy named Xavier comes and saves her. When Wednesday regains consciousness and sees Xavier sitting nearby, instead of thanking him, she says that she was capable of saving herself. Meanwhile, Thing keeps a constant watch on Wednesday. When Wednesday is writing her novel in her room, she senses Thing's presence. She catches him and threatens to cut off his fingers. Then she calmly talks to him and says that if he wants to save his fingers, he must work for her. After thinking for a while, Thing agrees. Wednesday begins planning her escape from the school, and she also includes Thing in this. The next day, she goes to a psychiatrist with the principal for a therapy session. However, despite the psychiatrist's best efforts, she doesn't share anything with him. Something else was going on in her mind. Cleverly, she manages to escape through the bathroom. While escaping, she bumps into a fruit vendor. As soon as she collides with him, she gets a vision of his future death. While escaping, she stops at a coffee shop to have coffee. There, she meets Sheriff's son Tyler, who works in that coffee shop. Wednesday asks for coffee, but the coffee machine malfunctions. The instruction manual for fixing the machine was in Italian, which Tyler couldn't read. Then Wednesday, who could read Italian, helps him fix the machine. In return, she asks him to drop her at the bus stand. Due to his work, Tyler asks her to wait for a while. Meanwhile, a few normal boys arrive there and start misbehaving with Wednesday after seeing her Nevermore uniform. Actually, most people in the town hated outcasts and didn't like them visiting the town. However, Wednesday beats those boys and teaches them a good lesson. Just then, the sheriff and the principal arrive there. They learn about the fight. The sheriff tells Wednesday that her father should have been behind bars for murder, but he is roaming free because of money. The sheriff warns her that he will always keep an eye on her. After this, the principal takes Wednesday back to school. On the way, they witness an accident. The driver had died, and it was the same fruit vendor who had collided with Wednesday earlier. For now, Wednesday's escape plan had failed. At night, Wednesday plays the violin to lighten her mood. Everyone enjoys her talent, but her mood doesn't improve. Just then, Enid arrives. That night was a full moon night, so all the werewolves in the school were howling at the moon. But seeing Enid in her normal form, Wednesday asks her why she hasn't transformed into her werewolf form. Enid tells her that she hasn't fully transformed into a werewolf yet. Her mom has told her that she will eventually transform, but she is worried that if it doesn't happen, she will be cast out of her pack and have to live alone for the rest of her life. After some time, Thing goes to Tyler's house and asks him to talk to Wednesday over a video call. Wednesday asks him if he still wants to help her escape. In return, she offers him a reward. Tyler says he will help her but doesn't want any reward. The next day, there was going to be a festival in the town, and Wednesday plans to escape during the festival. The next day, she arrives at the festival with Enid. Taking advantage of the situation, she distracts the principal and tries to escape with Tyler. While leaving, she bumps into a boy named Rowan. Rowan was the same boy who had been defeated by Bianca in the fencing match. As soon as she bumps into him, Wednesday gets a vision of Rowan's death. He was running hurriedly toward the forest. Wednesday follows him into the forest to stop him. Xavier also sees Wednesday heading into the forest. Xavier is the same boy who saved Wednesday from the falling stone statue that day. In the forest, Wednesday stops Roman and tells him that his life is in danger. But then, a sly smile appears on Roman's face, and he attacks Wednesday instead. Wednesday is confused. Then Roman shows Wednesday a drawing in which a girl resembling Wednesday is standing, and behind her, Nevermore is burning and destroyed. Roman tells Wednesday that his mom could see the future, and she had made this drawing 24 years ago. According to her prophecy, Wednesday will destroy Nevermore. That's why Roman was trying to save Nevermore by killing Wednesday. Before Roman could kill Wednesday, a monster suddenly appears, kills Roman, and leaves. In the next scene, the police are seen investigating the forest. Wednesday had told them about the incident, but surprisingly, they found no evidence of what happened there, not even Roman's body. The sheriff tells Wednesday that she might have been hallucinating, but Wednesday was confident about what she had seen. Wednesday expresses her desire to talk to the sheriff alone, but the principal objects to it. She does not allow it, but after the sheriff insists, she gives them 5 minutes. Alone, Wednesday tells the sheriff that there is a monster in the forest, and it killed Roman and others. She also says someone is trying to cover up these murders. Suddenly, the door opens, and Roman enters. Both of them are shocked to see him. Wednesday is confused about what is happening. She goes back to her room and shares everything with Enid. She asks about Roman, to which Enid says she only knows that Roman was a weird boy who had no friends. For more information, she suggests that Xavier, Roman's roommate, might know something. At night, while working on her novel, Wednesday notices Roman's painting. She sees a strange symbol in it. The next day, Wednesday goes to the principal's office and expresses her wish to meet Roman, but the principal refuses. She informs Wednesday that Roman has been expelled from school and is leaving today. She also suggests that Wednesday join an extracurricular activity club. Wednesday knew the principal was keeping an eye on her all the time, so she was forced to check out different clubs. First, she visits the singing club, led by Bianca, but it doesn't work out. Next, she goes to the archery club, led by Xavier. Xavier teaches Wednesday how to shoot an arrow. During their conversation, Wednesday asks about Roman. Xavier says that Roman was always a bit strange, but his behavior had recently become much worse. Xavier also warns Wednesday to stay away from Tyler, saying that Tyler and his human friends hate outcasts. Wednesday ignores his advice, throws an apple into the air, and shoots it with an arrow, hitting it perfectly. This leaves Xavier speechless. After this, she goes to the Hummers Club, where they teach about bees. However, when she gets there, she sees only one boy who is running the club all by himself, because no one else comes there. The boy and Wednesday are talking when suddenly Thing arrives and signals her to follow him somewhere. When Wednesday follows him, she sees Roman. Roman was leaving with his belongings. Wednesday talks to him. This time, compared to the previous encounter, Roman speaks to Wednesday quite calmly. Wednesday starts to suspect something, so she asks Thing to follow him. After reaching the station, Roman goes to the toilet, but someone else comes out instead of Roman. Thing doesn't understand how Roman suddenly disappeared from there. A little while later, that person reveals their true form. It was none other than the principal. Thing goes to Wednesday and tells her that Roman escaped from the toilet. Hearing this, Wednesday gets very angry at him. In the botany class, Xavier asks Wednesday to sit with him. Xavier had the power to bring any painting to life. He tries to impress Wednesday with his powers, but it doesn't work. On the other hand, the sheriff is investigating in the forest with his dog. Tyler asks him about the monster in the forest, but he doesn't answer, and instead asks Tyler about the therapy he is undergoing with his psychiatrist. After his mother's death, Tyler had gone into shock. He refuses to tell his father anything, saying that some things between a psychiatrist and a patient are confidential. Angrily, the sheriff leaves. Meanwhile, to distract the principal, Wednesday sends Enid to the Hummers Club in her place and goes to the forest to investigate the Roman incident. But while she is investigating in the forest, someone suddenly pulls her aside. It was Tyler. Tyler tells her that he pulled her to save her from being seen by his father, the sheriff. The sheriff was investigating there with his dog. Tyler tells Wednesday that he is secretly keeping an eye on his father. He is worried that the monster might attack the sheriff as well. After the sheriff leaves, the two investigate the area. Wednesday finds Roman's glasses there. As soon as she touches them, she gets visions. She sees Roman and Xavier fighting. She also sees Roman tearing a drawing from a blue book, which was made by Roman's mother. However, the drawing was incomplete, and half of it was still stuck in the blue book. After returning from the forest, Wednesday starts searching for that book. At the same time, the botany teacher arrives there. Wednesday asks her about the symbol that was visible in the drawing. The teacher tells her that this symbol belongs to an old student society, the Nightshades, which was shut down years ago. After this, the teacher praises Wednesday for her answers in class. The teacher seems quite impressed with Wednesday's personality. Before leaving, she tells Wednesday that if she ever feels like talking to someone, she can come to her anytime. After this, Wednesday continues searching for the blue book. She tries to find it in Roman's old room, which is now Xavier's room. Just then, Xavier enters the room. Wednesday and Thing hide in time. A little later, Bianca also enters the same room. Bianca and Xavier used to be a couple, but once Bianca used her siren powers on Xavier. This was the reason for their breakup. However, Bianca still has feelings for Xavier. This is why Xavier's growing interest in Wednesday was bothering her. She tried to provoke Xavier against Wednesday. However, her words didn't have much effect on Xavier. Wednesday was also listening to their conversation. Bianca told her that in the Edgar Allan Poe competition happening the next day, she would defeat Wednesday's roommate Enid and humiliate Wednesday. Hearing this, when Wednesday reached her room, she found Enid crying. Enid told her that one of her team members suddenly fell ill and had to drop out of the competition. Wednesday understood that this was all Bianca's doing. She decided to teach Bianca a lesson and offered to take that girl's place in the team. The next day was the Edgar Allan Poe competition. This competition is held every year in memory of the school's most famous student, Edgar Allan Poe. In this competition, participants first have to swim across the river from Nevermore, then go into the forest, retrieve their team's flag, and return. The fun part is that there are no rules in this competition. Bianca had been winning this cup for the past 2 years by cheating. The competition began the next day. As always, Bianca had made full arrangements to win this time too. Sirens have the power to turn into mermaids in water. Bianca's siren teammate sank the vampire's boat in the water. Next, it was Wednesday's boat's turn, but Wednesday had come prepared. She instructed Thing to throw a net on the siren. Bianca's teammate got trapped in the net and couldn't do anything, allowing Wednesday's boat to safely cross the river. Upon reaching the shore, Wednesday told her teammates to guard the boat and went into the forest to find the flag herself. Here, Enid distracted the boys with the help of Thing, and as soon as the boys moved away from their boat, she punctured it. On the other hand, Wednesday reached the flag, but as soon as she touched the wall there, she had a vision. In the vision, a girl who looked like Wednesday suddenly appeared in front of her and said, "The real key is you." The next moment, Wednesday regained consciousness. She immediately picks up her flag and runs toward the boat. All the teams had already moved ahead, but since Enid had made a hole in the boys' team's boat, they couldn't move forward. Now, only Bianca and Wednesday's teams were left. Wednesday loads the spears on her boat and moves toward Bianca's boat to make a hole in it. But just then, Bianca's teammate from underwater starts pulling Wednesday's boat in another direction. At the right moment, Thing punches him and knocks him out. After this, Wednesday's team moves toward Bianca's boat again, makes a hole in it, and eliminates them from the competition. Finally, Wednesday's team wins the competition. Afterward, everyone celebrates celebrates. But Wednesday doesn't like it and goes away to sit under a statue. The statue was of Edgar Allan Poe. Just then, her eyes fall on the book held by the statue. There, she sees the same symbol that was in the drawing. Before she can think further, Enid arrives and takes her back to the celebration. At night, she goes back to the Edgar Allan Poe statue. Edgar Allan Poe was famous for his riddles. Wednesday climbs onto the statue and looks at the book held in its hand. A riddle is written in it. The intelligent Wednesday solves the riddle easily and concludes that she has to snap her fingers twice. As soon as she does this, the statue moves backward with a loud noise, revealing a secret door. Upon entering, Wednesday finds the blue book containing the drawing made by Rowan's mom. While she is looking at the book, someone suddenly throws a black cloth over her, and this episode ends here. To find out how many more secrets will be revealed in this story, stay tuned for the next part. See you in the next episode.